doing this presentation. We're going to be doing this presentation just a little bit different. My screen is completely different, and so if I do come up against any kind of mistakes, please forgive me. But I am going to talk a little bit about cholesterol, not knowing where everyone's knowledge base is about cholesterol and its overall impact on the body. And then we'll go ahead and discuss mental health and how it's giving you tips on how to resolve any things that you're having. Now, you can get a piece of paper and pen. I have like 4 little questions that I'm going to be asking throughout this presentation, and at which time you could go ahead and put your answer into the chat, and then I'll go ahead afterwards, I'll go ahead and discuss the answer, correct or whatever, on the particular quiz. And if you do have questions about that, just please go ahead and feel free to ask. So let's get started. So during the discussion, we're going to talk about cholesterol and cholesterol in your health, and then talk about some myths and facts about it, and then kind of get into the mental health aspect of it and how high cholesterol can impact your anxiety and how stress and the correlation between that and your cholesterol levels. And then I want to give you some tips on how to lower it. And I believe everyone's favorite is the meditation. So we'll be ending with meditation. So welcome. And a lot of people, they have a different aspect of what healthy is. And it's all encompassing so many different aspects of your well-being. It's your health, your finances, your spiritual, your mental, your occupational. They all have some type of impact on your overall well-being and your health. So let's go ahead and get started as we discuss a little bit more. So what is cholesterol? Everyone has a different definition of what is healthy for them. And some define health as an obligation, while others interpret it as a life goal. Would you like to share with me what you consider healthy? What's your definition of healthy? And just share it into the chat. And then Heather, she'll go ahead and kind of respond and let me know some of your views on what is healthy. Everyone has something different as far as their views about what is healthy and what is not, what they consider healthy or not. Do we have anybody put anything in the chat? No?
Not yet.
Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and kind of keep track of everybody's time.
Disease-free. We did have one person.
Okay, disease-free. And if you think about it, if you break down the word disease and you look at it, D-I-E, D-I-S, ease, E-A-S-E. So sometimes if you look at the word disease and you kind of, what you want to do is be free of any diseases. And sometimes some people interpret DIE as from death, as dying, or in some people, they may even say D-I-E-T, diet. But whichever one you may come across, some people, they want to be disease-free. They don't want to have any diseases. They don't want to have any mishaps as far as their health. But health, as we're going to talk about a little bit today, when you talk about health, and we look at the mind-body connection, there are so many different aspects of health and your well-being, and a lot of different stressors and a lot of different environmental things that could go ahead and impact your health. But thank you so much for sharing. And I think people, when they start looking at disease, they'll start looking at that a little bit differently now when you just look at the DIE and then the other part of that word.
And we had another person say fruit and veggies.
Fruit and veggies, yes. Fruit and veggies. And definitely having a healthy diet with fruits and vegetables does help, because if you look at what's the components of fruits and vegetables and all different vitamins and minerals that you'll find in fruits and vegetables, they do help the body, because the body recognizes a lot of those elements than they do any of the other elements that you would get from fast food, container foods, box canned foods, and everything else. So we're going to watch this video, and it's going to talk about a little bit about cholesterol, and then we'll go ahead and discuss some of the things that they talked about in the video.
Cholesterol is a waxy, fat-like substance that your body produces naturally, mostly in your liver. Sounds gross, but your body can't function without it. You need cholesterol to make hormones like estrogen and testosterone. It's also a key ingredient in cortisol, which helps control inflammation. Without cholesterol, you can't make vitamin D from sunlight. And it helps create bile acids so you can digest fat. Cholesterol is in every single cell, building healthy cell membranes in your brain, nerves, muscles, skin, and organs. The best part is that your body makes all the cholesterol you need on its own. But cholesterol also comes from foods like meat and dairy products. And when you eat things high in saturated and trans fats, like animal products and processed foods, your liver produces even more cholesterol. Too much cholesterol causes plaque to build up in your arteries, making it harder for your heart to pump blood to your body. Plaque can also cause blood clots to form, which can lead to heart attack or stroke. So as you can see, it's important to keep your cholesterol levels healthy and balanced to keep you feeling your best.
So how many of you knew that your body already produces all the cholesterol that it needs? You could just go ahead and raise your hand in the chat, or just, put that as, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. But yes, your body already produces cholesterol. And what it needs is the key components, a healthy diet of fruits and vegetables, to go ahead and break down those elements in order for the body to go ahead and produce those, produce cholesterol. And a lot of people do not know that the cholesterol helps your body produce the hormones and bile acids that your body needs to break down the fatty acids that's being produced in your body. So basically, cholesterol is a fat-like substance that's made by your liver. It is used by your body to create hormones and also to help digest food. So there are different parts, there are different elements of cholesterol. Ideally, when you turn 20, and I'm not really sure the age group dynamics of the people that's participating in this, this particular class, but starting at 20, you should be starting getting a, what we call, I like to call a baseline of your cholesterol. Now they say 20, and then from that point on, you should be checking it at least every 5 to 6 years, unless of course you have a family history, or they find that your numbers may be at normal. And then once you turn around 40, then it might become a little bit more frequent than every 5 to 6 years. But based on our demographics now, how we're kind of becoming very unhealthy based on our lifestyles and diet, some people, when they turn 20, they might find themselves with abnormal cholesterol numbers at a very early age. Some of it may be genetics, but then again, at the same time, it would be lifestyle. Now, if you've gone to the doctor, and if you were to go ahead and say, oh yeah, he gives me my cholesterol numbers and I don't have a clue about what they're saying. He tells me it's okay, and I just go my merry way. Well, it's okay to say it's okay, but if you don't keep track of what your numbers are, you will not be able to know whether or not you're heading into danger zone, even though it may be normal for the population. So it's always a good idea to kind of jot down your numbers, or even ask your healthcare provider to give you a printout of your lab work so that you can keep track of it. So one of the things when you do look at your cholesterol numbers is LDL, which is your low density lipoprotein. And this is what we call the bad cholesterol or lipid protein. Even though it says low density, that does not mean that it's keeping your numbers low. And we'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit more. HDL is high density protein, and it's used by your body to transport fat through your body to the liver so that your liver could use that to go ahead and produce hormones and bile acids and other key components that your body needs. And also there's triglycerides, and your body uses that for energy. And then your total cholesterol is the amount of cholesterol in your body based on all of those numbers that we just mentioned above. Now, one of the things that as I was going to nursing school, and I always used to have like little tricks to kind of help me remember things. And I always remember, what's the difference between LDL and HDL, and what am I looking for? Well, just think about it. HDL, I always looked at it as happy. When my HDL numbers are good, I am happy. So don't let the LDL get you confused thinking that because it says low, that's where you want to go. See how that rhymes? You do not want to go that low. So here are some of the numbers that you want to look at when you do look at your lab results. Your total cholesterol, which is a combination of HDL, LDL, and your triglycerides, you want that to be less than 200. Anything above that is saying that your body has too much fat in your body, which can cause arteriosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries, and also can lead to other health problems as far as heart attack and strokes. So you want to keep your total cholesterol levels less than 200. You want your LDL to be less than 100. And for men and for women, at least 40 for your HDL. And for women, you want that to be at least 50. And your triglycerides, you want that to be less than 150. If you was to go ahead and look at these numbers, if you was combining it, you would be over 200 if you're not careful. So you want to go ahead and make your LDL very low, but your HDL high and your triglycerides low as well. Okay, so based on this, which cholesterol test number is most important for your heart? Now, what I want you to consider the fact that when you have a lot of plaque buildup and a lot of cholesterol and fat around your heart, that means you have risking the chances of heart attacks, stroke, and arteriosclerosis. So which one is the most important number you want to look at when you go to your doctor's office? Do you want it to be your LDL that you want to try to make sure is in check, HDL, or your triglycerides? If you go ahead and put your answer into the chat, I would appreciate it. And Heather's going to let me know when everybody's done. We'll just give you a few minutes to kind of think about that and then put your answer in. This feels like I should do the Jeopardy song. Do, 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 do. Anyway, okay. So let's go and find out what the answer is. If you said the most important number for your heart is your LDL, if you said that, then you got the right answer. So Heather, whoever put down.
We had 2 that got the right answer.
Okay, great. So we've got about 8 people online. And so we got 2 that said they got the right answer. So that means 6 of you was kind of confused. So let's go ahead and talk about it. When your LDL, which is the bad cholesterol, the bad number, when that is high, that means you have more fat in your body. And even though the other numbers are important, but LDL is an indicator that you have a lot of fat that your body is not using and is storing in all different areas within your body. And a lot of times, if you think about it, if you know the heart, your heart has a lot of blood vessels running along into it, but also supplying on the outside of your heart. And those vessels is supplying nutrients into your heart muscle. Now, if you have a lot of fat in those areas, you're not getting a lot of nutrients into your heart. And then also at the same time, that plaque buildup can break off into clots and then could cause you to have a stroke, because that once it's in the heart and goes traveling, it go to the brain or even go into the lungs. Okay, so I was hearing some background noise, so I hope everybody's got their got themselves on mute. So now the question is, so why choose to live healthy? I know a lot of times when I was working as a nurse, and even after I was working and started my own business, Hands in Harmony, one of the hardest things I've ever found for a lot of people was people gave up. And they said, well, I'll just take medication. Or the one common thing a lot of people would say is, I'm going to die anyway. I might as well die happy. But then when you start thinking about what is happy, what kind of quality of life do you have and are you looking for having? And so that's what we was asking about the definition. What do you feel healthy is? And some of you said being disease-free and also to living a really good life without a lot of hospitalizations. And sometimes it does happen that beyond our control. But depending on your definition, we want, if you want to choose to be healthy, let's figure out how you could do that. And a lot of people, when I was working as a nurse, a lot of things they used to tell me when I like to educate people. And when I was talking to them about their disease, and they would tell me, well, no one told me that. I did not understand that. Where can I get more information? And so some of the resources wasn't available. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to go ahead and start my business, to be able to help people to navigate through this process. So we're going to talk about understanding cholesterol in your diet. Got a quick video.
What are some foods that might be high in the LDL and that we need to avoid?
So when we break down the good and the bad, I'll talk a little bit first about why they're called good and bad.
Okay.
So the bad cholesterol are cholesterols that work their way into the bloodstream and just kind of hang out in your arteries and vessels, where they can build up and form plaques, and that narrows the space for blood flow and eventually causes problems. The good cholesterol is named that way because it actually picks up the cholesterol from the blood and moves it into the liver so that it can be managed and excreted. So we want that the good cholesterol molecules, the HDL, are high so that they kind of keep the blood a little bit cleaner. The LDLs, as you asked, the bad cholesterol, generally comes from animal fats or animal cholesterol. So in the form of butter, certainly meats, whole milk, cheese. These are all the big culprits for LDL cholesterol.
We need to evict those from our body in order to have a good cholesterol exam.
Yeah.
So and foods, on the contrary, that are high in good cholesterol, what kind of foods should we be eating that have that high cholesterol?
So the good cholesterol,
yes.
Yeah. The good cholesterol comes from, a wide variety of foods. The famous ones are the fish oils that, a lot of times patients are encouraged to take either a supplement or to eat more fish in their diet, but certainly also from foods like flax and chia also have some good oils in them that help our body.
Anybody have any questions or any comments? I do have a handout that that Heather will send out when she sends a copy of this video to everyone. And it will list different foods, a little bit more food information that has really good, healthy cholesterols in it that your body could use. And one of the things
We
you
had
want
one
to,
question
yes.
about how much fish oil should one take?
Well, that's going to all depend, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to get that exact answer for you. I don't have the exact answer for you on that, because those numbers kind of changes over time, and it's been a long time since I've had done, looked into that. But I will go ahead and make sure that I get that to Heather after this discussion. And one of the things you can do a lot of
There was another
supplements.
question.
Oops, okay. But let
that
me just
says,
finish
is that
this.
the same as omega?
Yes, omega-3s. Fish oil. Yes, omega-3s. Now, one of the things that we could go ahead and talk about is supplements and real food. And I want to stress this very, very much so. Supplements is exactly that. It is supplementing, which means you should be trying to get as much omega-3s from your diet, from eating fish, and even walnuts and other types of nuts too has a lot of omega-3s in it too. So you want to use supplements to supplement to what you've already eating. Now, if you go and check your numbers and your doctor says you look at your numbers, now that you know what HDL are and everything else, for men 40, at least that much, and for women 50 and more. If you look at your numbers and you see your HDLs are very high and you're eating a very good diet, you don't really need to do a lot of supplementing. Not unless, of course, you're doing other medications, and there are some medications that does deplete your body of omega-3s. So I'm going to always, because I find the vitamin and supplement industry is growing like crazy. And one of the reasons why people are doing this is, I got to eat, I got to get all these supplements, I got to get all these supplements. But they're not eating a healthy diet. They're not eating all the right foods. And because of that, you're buying all these supplements. You're eating the right foods and you're buying more supplements, your body's going to say enough is enough. And guess what's going to happen? Your body gets rid of it. And so if it's good, your body's going to go ahead and use it and get rid of it. If it's bad, your body don't know how to get rid of it, and then it starts storing it. So, like I said, I'll go ahead and get the information on what is the recommended omega dosage. But I do want to stress very importantly that you should try to eat as much as you can foods that's rich in omega-3s. And this is just a little bit more. If you think about it, how many of you foods high in cholesterol, fast food, liver, fatty meats, canned shrimp, desserts, eggs, whipped cream? Wow. And sometimes a person's daily intake of eating all of this for cholesterol is over 300. And if you don't have much of a sedative, you don't have much of a lifestyle where you're just kind of hanging around on a couch, having a 300 cholesterol level, total cholesterol level, is not a good number if you haven't stroked out already. And so what you want to do, if eating fast, but not to say our lifestyles has changed so much that you'll see a fast food restaurant every other stoplight if it's not just a complete row of them. And so we've gotten so used to, let me go and get something fast food because I don't feel like getting home and cooking that big meal, especially now if you're going to this presentation, you're going to try to rush out of here to get home. Don't let fast food be your daily intake of foods. Try to do something, prepare ahead of time and get the foods and prepare it on a Friday or Saturday and store it so that you can have it for the rest of the week. Okay. Now, looking at all the fatty foods and the bad stuff and the good stuff. Now, if we was to go ahead and make a comparison, which is worse? Is cake worse than bacon for maintaining your cholesterol? True or false? Just think about it. Okay, I see the numbers in the chat is increasing. 14. Give you just a couple of more seconds. All right, so let's see what is the answer here. Well, cake is worse than bacon. It's just as bad. Okay, so and if some of you said false, I'm going to explain. What your body, you're getting triglycerides from cake, and you get triglycerides from bacon. But do you realize all the ingredients is in cake? You got the flour, you've got the milk, you've got the butter, and not telling which oils they're using, whether or not you got it made it from home or you bought it from the store. Look at all those ingredients, and all of those are saturated fats, all in that one tiny, what you call that little sliver of a cake. And that's just as bad as the fat from that bacon. You just got that one strip of bacon, but look at all the components of triglycerides that's inside that cake. So think about it next time. But all is not, now you said Miss Nancy said no more cakes. I can't have any more fun. I can't go here, can't do this. Because I like my cakes too, but it's balanced. As we saw in the other presentation, it's about balance. So we're going to figure out what we need to do to balance that all. And so a lot of times when we think about it, there's this nice commercial, and I can't even think about it. It's one of these diet commercials, and the husband and the wife is talking about how they're working together to lose weight. And he got very choked up in talking about that because he realized the path that he was going on was very detrimental to his health. And at the same time, he thought about that impact on his wife and his family. And so I say that to say this is the fact that a lot of people, they say, oh, I don't care, I want to do this, I want to do that. But you don't realize the impact it has on your family members. And they want you to be healthy so that, you don't die prematurely from something that you had control over. Now, of course, you don't have control over getting hit by, in a car accident or something like that. But if you have control over your health and the foods that you eat and your lifestyles, you have control and you can make changes for that. And you're not only making it for yourself, but you're also making it for your loved ones. So let's talk about cholesterol and your health. One of the things, your body needs cholesterol. We already said that because we need to build healthy cells, and also, but if you have too much of a high blood level of cholesterol, it increases your risk of heart disease, chest pains. And chest pains, a lot of people, is a difference between heart attack and chest pains. As I mentioned earlier, your heart has these veins and arteries on the outside of the heart. It is, providing nutrients. The heart is a muscle. So your body, when you're eating foods and everything else, it goes to the veins and the arteries, and it's providing nutrients to your heart. If you have a lot of cholesterol and plaque buildup, that the nutrients is not getting into the heart, and at times it can cause the heart to spasm and cause what we call angina because it's not getting what it needs. And so it can cause your chest pains and everything else. And also at the same time, it can cause strokes. Now, we'll talk about the relationship between high cholesterol and diabetes. Diabetes tends to lower the good cholesterol levels and raises the high triglyceride levels. And that is, in a lot of times, it's because of the foods that you're eating. Okay. And then at the same time, what happens is that if you have diabetes, if you think about it, diabetes is having a lot of high blood sugars. And what happens is that we're going to talk about diabetes at one of our other presentations, but a lot of people do not realize that your body produces hormones, which they get from the good cholesterol in your body. And one of the hormones is insulin, and that's produced by the pancreas. And insulin is used to transport sugar or fructose or the good sugars into your cells so that your body could use that for energy. Okay, so now if you're diabetic, you're having too much sugar and your body's not able to use it and produce it into the cells. And so, of course, that's going to go ahead and cause your numbers to rise, because if the body's not using it, the body's very smart. It stores it. And a lot of times it stores it in fat. And a lot of times people, you'll find, and not all cases, because I've had some clients who's very skinny, but they was diabetic. But in a lot of cases, when things are being stored and you have one of those, they tell you if you have a fatty stomach, and a lot of times a lot of doctors and people will tell you that that's the worst place to have it, is around the abdomen level at the area. It's because that's where the pancreas is at. And a lot of the blood flowing is needing to go ahead and transport insulin throughout the body, but it can't do that through fat. And so that's going to also increase your risk for heart disease and stroke, because now your body has all this fat, and now you have diabetes and hyperlipidemia. And it's not a good combination. And also the thyroid hormone has also a direct effect on your cholesterol level. A lot of people don't realize the thyroid is a powerhouse. It helps the body functions and to do a lot of different things within the body. It's like I call it like the thermometer. It helps in regulating your body and all the different functions in it. And so a lot of times they found that women, or most people who have high cholesterol, who have low thyroid functions, which means the thyroid is not functioning very well, they also have increased cholesterol level. And we could get into all the dynamics, but I'm going to, be conscious of your time. If you have a low thyroid, and we find that mostly women, a lot of women have thyroid conditions, and it mostly runs in women, that if you do have low thyroid, make sure that you take your medications or whatever you need to make sure your thyroid levels are being maintained and at a normal level, so that you can go ahead and make sure that you're not having that to help in increasing your cholesterol levels. Your blood pressure. When you think about it, when you have a lot of, your HDL is very high, that means you have a lot of plaque buildup along your blood vessels. Now your heart is trying to pump blood to get into all areas of the body. You got this nice little muscle that's pumping blood through the arms, the head, the abdomen, all these different places, the feet and the legs. Now, if you have high cholesterol, that means your body has to work even harder to pump blood against these arteries that is hardened because of the plaque buildup. And as these arteries, they become thick is not flexible. It cannot move when when your heart's trying to pump. And so in a lot of cases, your blood pressure goes up, not all because of stress, but because of the plaque buildup in your body. Some of the myths, I don't need to read that all to you. You can kind of read that yourselves. But one of the misnomers a lot of people have is that they think they can feel it if your cholesterol level is high. Sometimes you can feel when you have low blood sugar, or the symptoms of having high blood sugars, you can kind of see that and feel that. But you can't feel that, and you're not able to feel it consciously if your cholesterol levels are high. And sometimes by the time you realize that, it may be too late, and you don't want to have a stroke or any other problems that could go ahead and cause your life to be, and your family lives to be visiting in the hospital. Okay, so we're gonna go to a question. Can you tell when your cholesterol levels is high? True or false? I'm just gonna give you 1 minute to go ahead and put down your answers. "21, 22. 23. Just think about it. Well, I don't see any more answers going in, so let's go ahead and see what the answer is. The answer is you cannot tell when your cholesterol level is high. It has no symptoms. That's why, starting at 20, you should go ahead and start getting your cholesterol levels checked, especially if you look at your diet, and if everybody in the audience is over 20, check your kids. Make sure that your kids are at least seeing a doctor and getting your cholesterol levels checked. And then at the same time, once you get that magic number of 40 or getting close to it, and you see what those numbers, go get your blood work. You got insurance, use it. Don't be afraid. A lot of people say, I don't want to go to the doctor because they're going to tell me something I don't want to hear. It's better to hear it, and then you know what you could do about it, versus not hearing and it gets to be too late where you can't do anything about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about your mental health and your high cholesterol. And I want to just kind of give you a scenario. When you're at work and everything is going very calm, you're given all the tools you need at work. You have the papers that you need. You're given a good deadline to finish all your work. You're not having a lot of people asking you for things all at the same time. So everything is running smooth, okay? And so because of that, you're kind of in a happy place. You're not feeling anxious or anything like that. Okay, that's what happens, okay? Now, your body is the same way. Your body has, we have thermostats, we have regulators, we have little gauges throughout the body that's telling your body when things is not right, okay? And so we're gonna talk about a little bit more what happens when things are not right. What is the mental status of your body, what your body's gonna do? There's been studies that have shown that high cholesterol, there's a relationship between high cholesterol and stress and anxiety. And it's found that people who are showing this, the HDLs and the LDLs, they have high LDLs and low HDLs. And even people with anxiety disorders, their cholesterol levels are high. Now, there haven't been a study to show that, but I'm going to give you what I call the Nancy version of what this could cause. Why is this happening? Just like I used the scenario of when everything is calm around you in your work environment, you're able to work, you're able to get your deadlines taken care of. You're not angry at everybody because everything is happening the way it's being given. You're given the food and the tools that you need to do your job. The same thing with your body. Your body wants to have what we call a normal environment. But when you don't provide the nutrients that it needs, or you're finding yourself with very high cholesterol numbers, your body wants to bring that number down. And it's working very hard to do that, or anything else. It wants to be normal because that's how it was created to be. But when you start doing unhealthy things to your body says, it's not going to just say, well, they're doing unhealthy things, I just might as well forget it. Your body doesn't regulate like that. You may regulate like that, but your body doesn't. So the regulators within your body is trying to make things normal. And a lot of times that can cause your body to become very anxious. It's what I call a mind-body connection. And also, if you think about it, cortisol is a hormone that's released as a part of stress responses. Wow, when there's an increase in cortisol, there's also an increase in cholesterol levels. What is cortisol? What is it produced by? And so whenever everything like this is going kind of in the opposite direction, your cortisol and your other hormones is being impacted because of the high cholesterol levels. It cannot be released. It cannot help you to de-escalate, to calm you down, because cholesterol, too much cholesterol, your body cannot produce all the different hormones that it needs. And then again, when you're having a lot of fat created from high cholesterol being stored in your body, what's needed to get to the right places cannot get to it because it's trying to fight those blood vessels, it's trying to fight through all of that fat. And a lot of fat does not have a lot of blood vessels in it. So it cannot get to the proper parts of the body. So that kind of sounds doom and gloom, but we're going to talk about tips that, and it's very simple things. It's lifestyle. And one of the things you should know to help you lower your cholesterol is know your numbers. I mean, like I said before, a lot of people, they don't want to go to the doctors because the doctor's going to give me medicine. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to tell me this. What they could do is just tell you where you're at and give you the control to make a difference. You have the control. How many of you go out to eat and you say, well, I'm paid $12 for this steak, and this, even though this steak is one of the biggest steaks, I mean, you just might as well slap the cow on your plate because you're going to eat all of it. And you say, I'm going to eat it all because I'm paying for it. No. Portion. Use your hands to portion. Palm of your hand is, like you talk about the deck of cards, that's all you really should be eating, a deck of cards of protein. Okay, so, okay, you're gonna go ahead and go out and eat and got that big steak. Ask for the to-go box before you even try to eat. It takes at least 20 minutes from the signal from your stomach to tell your brain that it's full. 20 minutes. Now, if you inhale and trying to rush through your lunch and you're going to go to that restaurant down the street and get that big steak and going to inhale it, by the time you get to work, you're going to like, why am I feeling this way? Because you was full 20 minutes ago, but you wasn't listening to your body. Get the to-go box. Think delicious and nutritious. A lot of times people, I mean, my husband was a prime example. He would say, all that fat, that's good fat. That makes it taste good. And I used to just like cringe every time he said that. And so we're kind of used to adding fat, all the smoked meats and this meat and that fat to give flavor to our foods. You could make a very delicious meal and make it very nutritious without adding a lot of fat. You can add it with different spices and other different types of ingredients. Think nutritious next time when you want to start adding something to your meal. Again, boost your omega-3s. When you boost your omega-3s, you're increasing the number of happy HDLs in your body to help transport the fat to your liver so that your liver could use it and then producing all the different hormones. Start your day with whole grain. Whole grain kind of helps you to be full, and you're not going to be hungry throughout the day and eating, snacking, and everything else. Go for 30 minutes a day. If you can't, of exercise, you could do 15 minutes before you go to work. You could then do 15 minutes. It doesn't matter. Just get 30 minutes in of exercise. Because again, triglycerides and cholesterol is used for energy. The more energy you expel with exercise, the more you're using that cholesterol and fat. So just think about it. Exercise, you're using more, and it's going to help to lower the bad cholesterol in your body because now you're using all that unhealthy fat. You're just burning it off. Make it unsaturated. Try to get as much unsaturated fats as you can in your diet. Check your labels. The first 5 ingredients you may see organic or healthy for you. If the first 5 ingredients is on that label says it's words you cannot pronounce, put it back, put it down, because you'll find the first 5 ingredients and ingredients number 30 is that healthy one. But by the time it gets to 30, it's about 0.0001% of what your body needs. And by that time, it's not even been used. Try to stay calm and meditate. And we're going to do some of that later. Keep tabs of your numbers. Sometimes especially if you're going to be going from one doctor to another, they may not always know your back history 2 or 3 years ago. So if you keep tabs of your numbers, you'll be able to tell your doctor, you know what, doctor, or you may see it yourself that your numbers are going high and there's something abnormal. And that'll give you kind of a plan of something to do. Check your weight. If you kind of tipping the scale there, that means you're not using a lot of energy and you kind of storing a lot more fat. Medications. If all else fails, take your medication. I'm just going to tell you a quick story because we got about 10 minutes. And this is how you can make a lifestyle change. About when I turned 50, my doctors told me your numbers are going high. And I said, well, is the numbers above the numbers? She said, no. The next time I went to visit, your numbers is getting high. And I'm giving you 3 months to go ahead and make a difference. Ideally, 3 months is not going to go ahead and make a difference for anybody. But because she told me she was going to put me on medication and I didn't want to go on medication, I did what I knew I had to do. I just moved to Florida. Eating seafood was like the greatest thing, but I was eating all the wrong seafood, especially dipping it in all kinds of butter and frying. And so I knew, and I was also starting nursing school, so I wasn't exercising as much as I used to when I was in the military. So when she told me that, and I went back, I did everything I needed to do, and I went back, and she didn't believe it because my numbers had dropped, because I used the tools, and you can use the tools. But at the same time, and I'm going to tell you, that was 18 years ago, and I'm still not on cholesterol medication because I'm using the tools that I need to keep myself healthy. And you could do the same thing. But if your numbers are to the point where you cannot do it, take the medication, but go ahead and develop a plan of doing the right things so that when you go to the doctor and they see your numbers are going down, then they can go ahead and take you off that medication. But it is an effort. You could do it without the medication or you could do it with the medication. But your end goal should be lowering your cholesterol levels. Okay. If you have high triglycerides, high fat, you probably need medication, true or false. We're going to go half a minute, 60 seconds. Okay, we haven't had anybody, we only had one. Okay, come on, answer the question. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ever been in the test and said pencils down? I know you want to go ahead and start doing the meditations, but the answer to that is false. You probably will not. A lot of people can bring down their triglyceride levels by making changes in what they eat and getting through exercise and diet. Just like I told you my story, where I was able to do that. And I was 50 and now I'm 68 and I'm not on any high cholesterol medications because I'm doing what I need to do. My numbers are kind of going up there a little bit because I've been stressed a little bit over the last year, but I'm doing what I need to do to lower my stress levels too as well. Stay active. We're going to just briefly go through some of the things that you could do. Develop healthy habits, hydrate. I mean, you could be in the office and doing exercises and different things. You can walk up and down the stairs. If you're on the 3rd floor, walk down the stairs and walk back up the stairs. You know, if it's too hot during the summertime, walk the stairs or walk around the building. There's so many different things that you could do. Get up a little bit earlier so you can go ahead and get some exercise. And you know, when you leave work, go ahead. And for those of you who are at this over at the main building for San Antonio School District, there's exercise classes that we have that we're doing at 5 o'clock. Go down to the wellness room and participate. You only live once. If you're going to do it once, because once is enough. Because after that, not really. So benefits is that exercise is done consistently and eat healthy foods. Do's, write down your activities so that at least you have a goal and a target. Do the exercise gradually, starting with small ones. Do not try to run a marathon when you haven't ran ever in your whole life because everybody else is doing. And just do it starting early and then gradually working out. Don't do it excessively. As a massage therapist, I have been working on people who hurt themselves because they tried to lose 10 pounds in 1 week by going to the gym. And you can just use very simple tools to go ahead and get to exercising. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of meditation. So what I'm going to do, I want you to go ahead and just relax. If you're home and listening to this, or if you're laying down on your floor, you can go ahead and get yourself into a nice, comfortable position. And in that, I want you to have your feet planted on the floor. Hands relaxed in your lap. You could close your eyes and shut your door to make sure your kids don't come in. Make sure everybody just kind of leaves you alone for about 3 minutes. You can place your hands gently in your lap. And as you do that, I want you to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a count of 2 and exhale gently out your mouth. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Inhale gently. Exhale. Now, when you start this inhale, you can inhale and exhale at your own pace. But what I want you to do is to focus on your exhaling. As you exhale, I want you to breathe out as powerful through your neck till you feel a sensation along the side of your neck as you're exhaling. Almost something like because when you're doing that, along the side of your neck is your vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve, when you stimulate it, either through the breathing in your neck or as you're expanding your abdomen, as you're inhaling and what we call making a Buddha belly, you're actually massaging the vagus nerve that goes all the way down to your abdomen. So now, as you're inhaling and exhaling, stay focused on your breath and vibrating your neck and massaging your vagus nerve in your stomach. Inhaling and relaxing. With each breath that you take, find your body gently, softly relaxing. As you feel this nice warm, imagine you got this light at the top of your head. And as you're inhaling, you're allowing that light to be drawn closer and further down into your body. With each deep breath, causing that light to envelop around your face, your neck, your shoulders. Feeling the warmth of that warm light. And if you find yourself, your mind going to what you got to do when this is done, don't worry about it. It's okay. Just go back to your breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Don't let your thoughts bother you. Just recognize it, see what it is for what it is, and just go back to your breathing. Feeling that warmth of that light enveloping down your chest, your abdomen, your thighs, your calves. Now feeling your whole body being enveloped with this warmth. Feeling your lungs being free, all this good energy flowing through it. This energy is vibrating throughout your body, all the way from the top of your head down to the soles of your feet. Embrace this warmth. Embrace this love. Embrace you, because you're able to do this. And as we get ready to close on this meditation, hold on to this feeling of warmth, of love, of vibration. You start wiggling your fingers, bringing yourself back. Wiggle your toes. And you can gently open your eyes. How was that? Okay, we're going to take the recording off. And if you have any questions, you can take yourself off of mute and asking questions. And